Hi, I'm Natalie Wharton. I'm the founder of Wharton Business Consulting. I'm here today as I was passionate about helping line managers and their teams think about how they can develop resilience, both physical wellbeing and mental resilience, as we go through this. So I've brought some of our partners and SMEs to share their top tips. So firstly, we have James and Claire. James and Claire are the founders of 38 Degrees North. They also have a corporate platform called the Wellness State, which we use at Wharton Business Consulting, and is a great place to go for all your wellbeing and physical needs. And we also have Hannah Carr. Hannah is the founder of the Nourished Body. Hannah runs a lot of sessions around wellness and fatigue and how you can fight that through nutrition. And we also have Nicola Graham. Nicola Graham is the managing director of Tops Health and is a physio by background. So great, wonderful to have you all here today. Thank you. Just thought it'd be great if you could all start sharing what you're seeing is happening in your clients, and also your top tips for how, particularly as line managers and as teams, what we're seeing at the moment is that real sort of noise happening, a lot of pressure and workload onto line managers as they're going through this. Workload often hasn't changed, but also they need to think about not just their teams, but themselves. So Claire and James, take it away.
Hello. Hey. Thank you so much. It's great to be here. So I think it's really important to say right from the beginning that, we were saying this before we jumped on to this call between us, but it's really important to say that everyone is feeling in the same boat right now, and everyone is feeling incredibly overwhelmed. And the most important thing to understand and realise is, firstly, you're not alone, but also just actually reducing those expectations on yourself. I think we're in a society that is constantly like looking at what we can, the next thing, and we have huge expectations of ourselves. And the thing is, most of those expectations now aren't particularly realistic. So actually, there is no normal. We've got to kind of create our own new normal. So actually, the first thing that we want to say is, it's okay just to do what you can right now. Like, take away some of those expectations and the overwhelming pressure you're putting on yourself to be something, do something, have something, and just allow yourself to settle into this new reality that we're experiencing.
Yeah. I found what's really useful for me as well is thinking, when I'm not doing task orientated stuff, is to focus on the difference between my consuming and contemplating. So I think there's a real tendency to try and turn our mind to neutral almost, and numb it a bit with, like internet scrolling, TV, etc., which I'd say is consuming. But I'm trying to swap my consuming more for contemplating. So actually spending time just either like meditating, daydreaming, creative visualization. It's still as restful, but it's engaging the mind in a different way that just like blankly consuming isn't. So I'd say a top tip is just try and get the balance right between consuming and contemplating.
I also think, from our perspective, from the physical activity side, obviously even we're finding this personally challenging. We've been going to the gym for 10 years plus, and that's part of our routine. We love it. It's part of what we do. We're complete weirdos with it. So now we're having to kind of like get used to doing different things. But also, again, we said about this, what we don't want to do is go overboard. And again, this is everything. People are saying, oh, you should be doing this, that, and the other physical exercise, do this, do that. Actually, because we're under a huge amount of stress anyway, our central nervous system is literally going to be bombarded completely. So we're under loads and loads of stress anyway. Our body's feeling it emotionally, physically. The physical implications of that stress is a real reality for people right now. So actually not doing too much physical activity is a really, really important thing to think about, because I know for myself, that's a tendency that I had right at the beginning. I was like doing too much. And actually, my body was just like, do you know what? Just bring it down a little bit, because we don't want to overload the central nervous system with all the other stress that's going on in the body at the same time.
Yeah. So that's really important as well. If people are feeling completely overwhelmed with work in particular, or parenting, or work and parenting,
everything,
make sure you are building in somewhere in your schedule that recovery time, because it's vital. Otherwise, you're going to be like just running on
empty,
adrenaline and running on empty.
Yeah, no, definitely really important. Thank you. And Hannah, what's it from a nutrition side? What do you think people can do? I think, people's routines, as we were just saying, have gone out the window. They, people are trying to get routines, but I think nutrition being so important throughout all of this. What's your thoughts?
I do think I talk about it a lot anyway, and I don't feel like it's changed, that you always need to take personal responsibility for your own health, and we don't want to be falling into that trying to do too much, because what I've seen with lots of women in my community is they're kind of sort of in fear, they're frozen in fear, and they're not taking any action. So just eating a lot of convenience foods, a lot of sugar, which is going to happen at the moment, but just going back to some of the basics and making sure that people are doing some of those really basic things that we all know that we should be doing for our health. So that might be drinking water, or making sure you're having fruits and vegetables throughout the day. So whatever you're having for breakfast, just saying, am I having a piece of fruit with it? Whatever I'm having for lunch, can I just have some grated carrot or a handful of spinach, or just these really basic things? Don't stop everything nutritionally for your health. Don't completely go for convenience foods. Just try and use this. I feel like we've been actually gifted some of this time, so we're in the house a little bit more. And what I've seen with myself, my family, my masterminds that I'm in, and my clients, is they're actually working more at the moment, and they're doing more hours sat at their desk, and they're not really taking those breaks, and they're not doing the basic things. So just try to keep up with some of those really basic things that we all know that we should be doing, and we have got that little bit of time where we're not traveling, or we're not taking children to school or to clubs, or whatever it may be for you, using that time to actually look after your health in these really relaxing ways. So like the guys were just saying down there, not pushing yourself to work too hard, but it might be some gentle stretching or some gentle yoga, or drinking a little bit more water, but going back to basics.
Yeah, no, that's really important. And what you were saying there about the impact, and I'm just thinking from the musculoskeletal side of things as well. From you, Nicola, what are you sort of seeing? So we're saying a lot of us are at desk. I was talking about I sit at my desk a lot, and it's important to move around. But what can we do to protect us so that we don't have issues in the future?
I think it's slightly unrealistic to probably create your whole work or normal office environment at home, and therefore we kind of know what a good posture should look like at a desk, and if you don't, it's very openly available kind of on resources on the internet and things as well. But whatever kind of recreates the natural postures of the spine are really important, and trying to maintain that is great, but actually being realistic that you may not have your correct office chair at home, or you may not have that ideal situation, or you're sharing a desk with your kids doing kind of school homework at the same time, then using that opportunity to put in some what I'd like to call kind of movement snacks, so that you get up regularly and you move and you change position. I think there's a good saying that your best posture is actually your next posture. So rather than trying to maintain this amazing upright kind of posture, which actually isn't the norm, and posture is very different for everyone anyway, is just trying to move as much as possible. And that may not be that you actually have to go away from your desk and lose that period of concentration that you're on, but even simple things just like stretching the arms up overhead, or rolling down in a seated position. There are so many ways that you can move the body. It's really, you're limited by your imagination rather than anything else. So just trying to kind of find that time. And little things, maybe just put a post-it on your computer screen, so every time you look at it, it's a reminder. Okay, where am I sitting? What have I done? When did I last? Some people actually like the timer, like every 10 minutes a timer goes off on your phone, and it's just that kind of reminder. Okay, what am I doing, and what position am I in, and how can I adjust that? So I think over a short period of time, working in a not a great ergonomical position won't have long-term detrimental effects, but that repetitiveness over potentially a longer period of time could. So just being aware of that, and kind of seeing what small adjustments you can make, because they'll make a big difference from an accumulation point of view.
Brilliant. Thank you. Lots of tips. Well, thank you everyone. Thanks for joining. And
thank you, Natalie.
Questions for anyone? Contact everyone. All right. Thanks. Bye.